Hello and welcome back to Earthy Remedy. No matter how much weight you lose, your lower belly just won't budge, like it's clinging on for dear life. You could drop pounds from your face, arms, thighs, even your pinky toe. But that little pouch below your belly button, it's like the last guest at the party who refuses to leave. And honestly, it's enough to drive anyone nuts. But here's the wild part. This isn't bad luck, and it's definitely not just happening to you. It's actually built into how the human body works. While most of us are desperate to lose belly fat first, our bodies have other plans. That area around your midsection? It's your body's favorite storage unit. Easy to access, energy efficient, and unfortunately one of the hardest places to empty out. So yeah, your biology is basically working against your beach body dreams. But once you understand why, you can finally start doing something about it. Fat stored in the abdominal region is more energy efficient for the body to carry, especially compared to areas like the face, hands, or feet. It's closer to the core and doesn't hinder movement the way excess weight in extremities might. So when the body needs to conserve energy or prepare for times of food scarcity, belly fat becomes a reliable storage zone. The challenge for us is learning how to tap into those stores consistently and effectively. This brings us to a strategy that many find surprisingly effective for reaching their fat loss goals, especially when that last bit of belly fat won't budge. That method is eating just one meal a day. While it might sound extreme or even unhealthy at first, many people who adopt this routine find it easier and more sustainable than traditional diets. It allows for freedom, flexibility, and more satisfying meals, all while nudging the body into a fat-burning mode that targets those hard-to-reach areas. Before diving into the specifics of this approach, it's important to understand why most conventional dieting strategies fail. When people set out to lose weight, they're often told to eat smaller meals more frequently throughout the day. You might have heard recommendations to eat 3 square meals or even 5 to 6 mini meals a day. The idea behind this is to keep the metabolism running or to maintain stable blood sugar. But despite being widely accepted, this strategy doesn't always produce results. In fact, for many people, it does the opposite. It leads to more cravings, constant snacking, and difficulty maintaining a calorie deficit. One key reason is that frequent eating keeps insulin levels high. Every time you eat, especially carbohydrates, your body releases insulin. Insulin plays a crucial role in fat storage and blocks the use of stored fat as fuel. So when you're constantly eating, you're also constantly telling your body to store rather than burn fat. Additionally, smaller meals often leave people feeling unsatisfied. They eat again not because they're truly hungry, but because they never feel fully full or satisfied. Over time, this pattern can make dieting feel like a constant battle against willpower. On top of that, preparing and eating multiple meals a day becomes exhausting. It's time-consuming, mentally draining, and often not practical for people who are working full-time, raising families, or juggling busy schedules. The mental fatigue of constantly thinking about food, what to eat, how much to eat, when to eat, can wear people down. That's why a simpler, more flexible approach like eating one meal a day can be so powerful. This way of eating is known as OMA-DAMI, which stands for one meal a day. It falls under the umbrella of intermittent fasting, a method that restricts eating to certain windows of time during the day. OMAD is essentially the most advanced form of intermittent fasting, where your entire food intake for the day happens during one single meal and you fast for the remaining hours. At first glance, this might seem unhealthy or even dangerous. We've all grown up hearing that breakfast is the most important meal of the day and that skipping meals can slow down your metabolism. However, many of these ideas stem more from cultural norms than from science. The concept of eating 3 meals a day is deeply rooted in industrialized society, in the structure of the modern workday, not in biological necessity. In earlier times, people often ate based on availability and hunger, not by the clock. Ancient cultures, such as the Romans, were known to eat only one main meal a day. The modern structure of breakfast, lunch, and dinner evolved later due to changes in agriculture, social customs, and work schedules. As electricity made nighttime cooking easier and jobs became more structured around fixed hours, meal patterns adapted accordingly. But just because something has become tradition doesn't mean it's the healthiest or most effective method for everyone. Fasting, especially in the form of OMAD, works with the body's natural rhythms. When you go without food for an extended period, typically 20 to 23 hours, you give your body a chance to burn through stored glycogen, which is the carbohydrate-based fuel stored in your muscles and liver. Once those stores are depleted, your body turns to stored fat for energy. During this fasting window, insulin levels drop significantly, and the body becomes more efficient at mobilizing fat and converting it into energy. In addition to fat loss, fasting has a number of other benefits. Many people report increased mental clarity, improved focus, and better energy throughout the day. That's because your body isn't constantly engaged in digestion, which is an energy-intensive process. You also avoid the blood sugar roller coaster that comes with multiple meals. Normally when you eat, especially refined carbs or sugars, your blood sugar spikes and then crashes a few hours later, leaving you tired, irritable, and craving more food. OMAD helps flatten that curve. For those who fear feeling constantly hungry, it's important to understand that hunger is largely hormonal and habitual. The hormone ghrelin, which makes you feel hungry, is released in anticipation of your regular meal times. If you've trained your body to expect food at 8 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m., then ghrelin will spike at those times. But if you change your routine, those spikes will adjust accordingly. After a week or two of OMAD, most people notice that their hunger diminishes significantly during the fasting period. If you're new to fasting, it's a good idea to transition gradually. Rather than jumping straight into one meal a day, start by compressing your eating window slowly. Begin with a 16 to 8 fasting schedule. Fast for 16 hours and eat during an 8-hour window. Then reduce that window to 6 hours, then 4, and eventually 1. This gradual approach gives your body and hormones time to adjust. Once you're ready to commit to OMAD, the structure of that one meal becomes important. It's easy to assume that not eating all day will lead to uncontrollable cravings or binge eating. While that can happen in the beginning, there's a simple way to prevent it. Start your meal with 2 to 3 cups of vegetables. This gives your body fiber and volume, helping you feel full. Next, move on to a quality protein source, such as chicken, fish, eggs, or legumes. After that, include some healthy carbohydrates like sweet potatoes, brown rice, or whole grains. Finally, once you've eaten the foods that nourish your body, allow yourself to satisfy any cravings you might still have, whether that's fruit, chocolate, or a small dessert. Interestingly, many people find that by the time they reach the end of their meal, their craving for junk food has faded. The fullness from fiber, protein, and complex carbs creates real satiety, not just temporary satisfaction. And because the meal is larger and more indulgent than typical diet food, it doesn't feel restrictive or punishing. This helps people stay consistent in the long run. Aside from the physical and hormonal benefits, OMAD also simplifies life. With fewer meals to plan, prepare, and clean up, you save time and mental energy. Grocery bills can shrink, and eating becomes something to enjoy rather than stress about. There's also a psychological benefit to knowing that you don't have to deprive yourself every few hours. You simply delay gratification and enjoy your food in a single, satisfying sitting. In the long term, OMAD offers a way to maintain a healthy weight without the constant mental burden of dieting. It's not a fad or a quick fix. It's a lifestyle adjustment that aligns with how the body naturally manages energy. Once past the initial adjustment phase, many people find they have more energy, better mood stability, improved digestion, and perhaps most importantly, a leaner, flatter stomach. While no diet is one size fits all, the one meal a day approach is a powerful tool worth trying. It's backed by logic, human history, and growing scientific support. If you've struggled with restrictive diets in the past or felt like you were always hungry and still not seeing results, OMAD might be the solution you've been looking for. Try it for a few weeks, be patient with your body, and remember that long-term change takes consistency, not perfection. Once your body adjusts, you may be surprised at just how sustainable and effective eating one meal a day can be.